What is up, folks? Meor Addelan here once again for another session of Let's Chat. Now, for this episode today, we're going to be talking about how to present yourself. Not you specifically, but the items or the things that you would want to sell. Like it or not, you may not believe this, but there's a lot of people out there who are business owners, who are entrepreneurs, who really want to make a living by sustaining themselves, selling products, selling services, pushing out whatever it is that they know best. But unfortunately, a lot of people out there as well have trouble with branding. Now, why am I talking about branding here? Because again, sometimes people get confused. What is branding? What is marketing? How do you showcase yourself? How do you present yourself in such a manner that you would be interesting to your future prospects? And with me today for this particular edition, I have a very good friend of mine who is actually a branding expert. She has been around long enough to really understand what branding actually means. May I present to you my friend, Miss Julia Ko. What's up, Julia?
Hi, Meor. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming on Let's Chat. So now let's jump straight to the topic at hand. We want to talk about branding. We want to talk about how people perceive branding, because like it or not, a lot of people out there, as mentioned on top of the show, people very much like to be their own bosses, and meaning that they want to become their own product owners. They want to, give services out there to the public. But the problem is a lot of people are misrepresented because they themselves, they do not understand their own branding. Julia, why is this happening?
We are a very, how would you say? We're a very creative, entrepreneurial bunch, Malaysians, you will notice, right? We have a lot of products and services that we develop and that we keep up. But sometimes we forget about the branding and the marketing portion. We think very hard about how to get the product right, but then we forget, or rather we don't pay as much attention to how are we going to communicate our products and our services to the general market. Now, you must remember that as consumers, we are first and foremost time poor, right? 24 hours in today's age are not quite enough for all the messages that you have out in the world. And secondly, we are attention poor, right? Which means there are simply too many messages and too many products and services out there for us to understand, for us to remember. So brands, in essence, the brand building that you do becomes a shortcut to the sort of communication that you want to your target market, right? Mm-hmm. So over time, what you want people to say is this particular brand equals your product, your service, and what is the message that you want them to sell.
Mm-hmm. But funny thing is, Julia, when I mean, again, when you talk about branding, it's just like your name. You're Julia. I am Meor. Our name is our brand. How hard can it be? Because it's just about wanting to push a product which is under your brand, but still people don't see that much of an importance. As you mentioned, people are just chasing for that sale. People are just chasing for that goal at the end of the rainbow, but without really taking into much or a lot of consideration about placing their brand in a proper manner. Your thoughts?
So it may sound simple. Oh, it's just a name, it's just a logo that we need to put up. How hard can it be? How much time should it take? You'll be surprised. As we know, Meor, the simplest things are the hardest to do.
Are never easy, aren't they? I mean, the simpler it is, the harder it becomes most of the time.
Therein lies the problem. I ask you to write an essay, you can, about a particular topic, no problem. I ask you to condense that essay in 7 words. You're going to take the whole day just to get the right 7 words. So to get the right name, the right logo is it takes a lot more effort, it takes a lot more time. So I also want to introduce 2 words when we think about businesses, and what sort of name, logo, identity, or what message we want to sell. 2 words. The first one is value creation, right? And the second is revenue extraction. I say it again.
Wow, okay.
Value creation and revenue extraction.
I need to write these down. Okay, explain to us, please, to us layman people.
Which business are you in? Is your business in to create value, or is your business in to extract revenue value? Now, caveat, every business exists to make money. You must
Yep.
make a profit. If not, your business cannot sustain, right?
Yeah.
No matter
If
how
not,
good your
if
branding
not,
is.
you're just giving out, charity, I guess.
So it's not sustainable, right?
Mm.
As a business, you must turn a profit. So that is a caveat. But over and beyond profits, what does your business exist for? Do you create value, or do you merely extract value from your customers? So there is a difference. If you create value, that means everything you do is with the customers in mind. Right?
Yep.
Even something as basic as a name and a logo, right? And something as complex as the sort of product you want to produce and the sort of experience you want to give to your customers is impacted by what value do you want to create for them, right? As opposed to extracting revenue, which means getting as much money as you can. So like I said, business still have to make profit, right? But over and above, are you merely making a profit, or are you really creating something of value that your customers want and that they keep coming back?
Okay.
So your name, your identity is that shortcut to what is the value that you create for your customers.
There are sometimes cases where, as you mentioned as well earlier, a lot of people, they are masters of their own product, they are masters of their own services, but they do not have the knowledge or the know-how or even the basic understanding of how to present themselves within a brand or within a logo as proper as how it should. So how do they overcome this? Is it as just, you just drawing, a triangle or a square or paper, be creative sort of and just come up with the logo? Is there any steps that one may take should they are not really that well versed in this particular segment, Julia?
There are always steps that one can take, right? We Malaysians are very, very innovative and creative bunch. So we manufacture products very well. We have fantastic R&D, and we have the manufacturing process done really well. What we are not so good at is the commercializing and the marketing of those products that we make, right? So at the bare minimum, what we want to get done for branding is to first and foremost make sure that you know your differentiation. Okay, what is it about your product or your service that you do better, faster, harder, smarter, bigger, smaller, right, than your competitors? So that's your differentiation. There must be something, again, different that is of value, right, that the customers want. So secondly, you need to know what is your positioning. What is it that you stake on the ground, that you commit to do, right? And this is the thing that you will do. What is your position? Because if you don't have a point to make, how are people going to listen to you and follow you?
All right. Okay. Let's talk a bit on a broader spectrum here when we talk about Malaysia, because brands. There are some brands out there who are that strong. Remember, when you want to take, when you want to brush your teeth in the morning, most often or not, you won't actually mention that you need toothpaste. You're gonna mention that particular brand itself. When you want to change diapers for your baby, you don't even say diapers. You say the brand that you are so familiar with. So in Malaysia specifically, Julia, where do you think our standard of branding stands? Are we up there already with the bigger players in the world, or are we quite lacking in regards of identity, as mentioned, or class, or whatever?
I think as world-class manufacturers, we focus a lot on the product. We focus a lot on the service, but we don't communicate as well what value we bring through our product and services. So I would say product itself works fantastic. It works fine, right? So when we say product, mean the same product and service. It works just fine, right? And it's comparative to world-class competitors, I would say, right? Our products are not lacking. What we lack is our communication, our way of branding it and adding that value to it, and how, in a broader sense of term, how Buatan Malaysia also adds value to the products that we sell internationally.
Yeah. And also, just to pick on what you've just mentioned multiple times already, you mentioned branding, you mentioned marketing in the same sentence. So one cannot live without the other, can it?
Part and parcel. Yeah.
Okay.
It's best to have both. Branding is what value you attach to yourself. Marketing is how you communicate that value.
Okay.
So you need both sides of the
can
coin.
can I not have a brand like myself, Meor Addelan, and just like market myself without really having a specific logo or a specific vision and mission, those sorts of things, but still market myself in a way? Can that still work, or will it work less versus somebody who would have the all package, that kind of a deal?
Okay, think of branding as building blocks, okay, like Lego, okay?
Mhm.
In the process of building your brand, there are many things that you can do, right?
Okay.
A brand name is one, right? And a good sounding brand name, one that one that accurately describes who you are and what you do, right?
Yep.
Understanding your why is another one. Logo is another one, right? A positioning and differentiation we spoke of earlier. These are also brand building blocks. So can you do without one or a few? Can. You just need other elements to help you build. Say, for example, brand identity constitutes or can influence 10% of the purchase choice. Okay, 10%. It builds the building credibility, building trust. Brand name, a good brand name, say, is worth 10%. Okay, of the credibility. A good logo, a good packaging is worth another 10%. So if you don't have a logo, or if the logo doesn't work so well, you just lose the 10%, right? But it doesn't mean you just have to make other elements work harder to add up to as high as you can go, to add up to 100% credibility.
Okay, last one, Julia. I just wanted to ask you on this. When we talk about branding, when we talk about creating logos and everything, some may say that it's a rich man's game, because a lot of SME owners, micro business owners out there who can't really afford, like agency fees, or even pay hundreds and thousands of ringgit to come up with this identity, this booklet that explains a certain brand. So what can they do in regards of micro business owners and SME owners? What can they actually do?
Okay, first and foremost, brand is a long-term investment, because it gives you long-term results. Right? It sticks in the brain, it sticks in the mind. So the effect and good ROI is for a lot longer. And because it's a long-term investment, along the line, you could have, there could be a lot of other sorts of expenses that you might need to cop up, right? But there are all sorts of budgets for all sorts of different brands, right? Agencies, how you use agencies is really for their knowledge and their experience. Do you know the story about the engineer and the hammer? The engineer and the hammer.
Okay. No, I do not know.
Okay, so the story goes, there was this engineer who was called in to a factory to fix a broken down machine. Okay, the machine has been broken down. The engineer was called in to fix it. So the engineer took a look at the machine. He took his hammer and he gave it a whack. Okay, and then the machine sprung back to life. So factory could resume operations, no disruption to their production. Okay, so the next day, the engineer gave the factory owner a bill. Okay, so the bill was $5,000. Okay, using the hammer cost you $5. Knowing where to hit with the hammer was $4,995. Right? So essentially, the analogy basically just says that you can do it yourself. It just takes a little bit more time, a little bit more trial and error, right? Whereas what you pay the agency for is for that experience and the knowledge. So at the bare minimum, do your why, your big why, right? Understand what is it that you're here for. Is your business, what sort of value you want to create in your business, right? And to get the message right. Very short, simple message.
Julia Koh, our brand expert, thank you so much for your time here on Let's Chat. I really appreciate it, talking about how deep is your love for branding. Really appreciate it. So hope you have a good one and make brands even better, Julia, after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Meor. Thanks a lot.
All right, that was Julia Koh, folks, our resident brand expert, talking about how important brand is. And yeah, as she mentioned, don't be stingy, guys, because why? At the end of the day, these guys, they know what they're doing and they know how to represent you with all their might and their experience. That's it, folks, for now. For Let's Chat, hope to see you guys again in our next edition. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.